You're talking bourbon. I like the high proof stuff.
You know what?
But like hot?
I mean, 140 plus. Oh, not warm.
I'm talking about like temperature wise.
Hell no.
Like-
Hell no.
Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I'm Matt.
I'm Jason.
I'm Brandon.
And we are broadcasting live from Japan, doing our brand new Shochu episode. No. Have you ever been to Japan?
Not yet.
I'd
you
like
ever
to
been to
go.
Japan?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, in Eastern Kentucky we had.
Eastern Japan?
Yeah.
Eastern Kentucky?
Yeah.
That's seriously bucket list shit for me. Like, I've always resonated with like Japanese culture.
You know,
and stuff like
the
that.
videos like on TikTok, which is getting shut down now, maybe. But like you see those guys eating in convenience stores. Like,
Yes!
The food looks good. It's like $8. I'm like, holy hell! I couldn't go to Taco Bell for $8.
That's what I'm saying, like the back alley shit, where they're just like
Yeah.
walking through and there's some guy like,
Well, even the convenience store looks
Yeah.
good. Like you warm shit up and get like your drink. I'm like, damn, it looks awesome.
I've seen this. So like, I don't know how much you know about Japanese culture. You
A good amount.
You produce a Japanese medium, but like, you see these like, it's not, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not a strip mall. It's like a strip mall, but it's like an alley. I said
Shit mall?
Yeah.
Shit mall, I got you.
But there's just like a bunch of like, kind of like open, kind of like window areas.
Is that where the massage parlors are? You
Not even, dude, but it's just like,
not
it's
there.
so
Okay,
hard
I
to
got you.
explain. You go down these alleys and there's all these businesses, these storefronts, but they're super small. It's like the size of like these two pillars right here. And it's just like a counter, and then they serve you food or they serve you something, and there's something in this next one, there's something in the next one, and there's like 30 of them.
Yeah.
But they all look amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to like quantify that in American terms. Do you know what I mean? Have
Oh,
you
yeah.
seen those?
I've seen it, and I mean, I can't imagine how good it smells too. Just walking
Yes.
down an alley
Oh,
with
yeah.
all these
Oh, yeah.
places, like, oh my god.
I mean, it's like your American dream, right? Like you think of like a neighborhood bar and grill, but you know, like you.
But in Japan?
Yeah, but in Japan, right? Like,
Japanese
it's also
dream.
a third of the cost. Like how the hell?
I
is
know,
that?
dude.
everything's so
and
cheap.
It's healthier.
Much
I know,
healthier.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember growing up and I had
If you count MSG as healthy, probably, you know. It's
Day. It's not that bad for you.
It's not that bad. No, seriously, it's
not as bad as
that
red
bad.
dye.
It's not as bad as was it the sugar, the fucking
Aspartame?
no
Saccharin.
every sugar that goes into soda.
Oh, high fructose corn syrup?
High fructose corn syrup. It's not as bad as
yeah.
high fructose. Wow, that took us forever to get there.
That took you forever, not us.
Hey, it's that was a team
We weren't the
effort.
one. We weren't the
That
one
was
that brought it up.
that was a
No.
team
It's on
effort.
you. It's on you.
That was a team effort. But
Matt's been drinking all day.
I haven't been drinking at all. UK lost. Womp womp.
We're coming back.
Either way, so we are gonna do a couple episodes in a row, and they're gonna be Japanese themed. This one is about shochu, and we did an episode on soju, and we had Brandon with us. That was you, not
Yeah.
Justin, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's these Japanese spirits. Honestly, the more I learn about them, it's I can see how people would be confused.
Sure.
About soju and shochu.
Well, it's
and
close to the
baiju
same name if
and-
you're saying it from Eastern Kentucky. You're right.
Yeah.
They do sound very similar. And there were some instances, I guess, when like shochu and soju were coming in first from overseas and nobody knew what they were and they just assumed they're all the same. I get it, but it's actually extremely fascinating, the differences that go into them. And the soju episode was super fun, but they all are based on Koji. And same with sake, which is over
Yeah.
the void. Brandon comes from the ethereal. We've had him on here fucking 1,000 times. From ethereal brewing and from the void sake brewery. Koji is really the basis of all these Japanese spirits, and it's kind of, I feel like there's like a renaissance for Koji right now.
Yeah, I mean, I
Maybe.
think in America, like, we've been dealing with malt for so long and so many different alcoholic beverages, and then something that's kind of alluring like Koji, you know, which is really kind of gaining some steam, especially in like the culinary world too.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That it's kind of exciting. It brings new flavors. It brings a whole new kind of perception, like mouthfeel, different like the umami character that you get out of it. You don't really see that in American cuisine or
No.
alcohol. So
No, it does bridges a lot of gaps between like food and like using like soy sauce and like other different types of foods, but also like the distillation alcohol. You got to use yeast obviously in tandem, correct?
Yeah.
For like the fermentation process. One thing I learned is Koji it does ferment, but like kind of like being a beer nerd and learning about beer. Like I thought fermentation was one thing and one thing only.
yeah, no, not really.
But it's not. It's
Yeah.
like Koji it ferments, but it doesn't produce alcohol.
Yeah.
It produces like 100 other byproducts, which give it that umami, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fungus or mold?
It's a
kind of
fungus,
thing?
right?
It's a fungus, and like one thing that's pretty typical, like used to describe a lot of the Asian alcohol, like the process, is multiple parallel fermentation, and that really just means like you have Koji in there, you have yeast in there. The Koji are breaking starches into sugars. Those sugars are getting consumed by the yeast, and that happens pretty much at the same time. And that's pretty. That's a pretty big through line throughout most, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean alcohol beverages.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like Belgian, like lambic. Like you think, I mean, in my mind, you know what I mean? Like Cantillon. I've heard people going to Cantillon saying like, there's cobwebs everywhere, dust. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, let's clean this. Like, hell no, don't clean that. You know, like a Dreyfontein, just leave it alone.
They kind of consider
it's
that
almost like the open
yeah.
fermentation for them.
Kind of, yeah.
In my mind, that's what I'm thinking.
So with the Koji process, and from what I understood, that's actually considered the Takamine process. I don't know if...
I don't know specifically what that would like.
And we'll do this on the next episode.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about Shochu. The next one, tune in, we're going to talk about Koji whiskey, which I'm super excited about. But I would like for you to kind of, we have done this before, Koji.
Yes.
Just itself, right? But what is Koji?
So Koji is Aspergillus oryzae.
Damn, okay.
So
I'm trying to think of like what he's not going to say that I'm going to say.
Gazoom
That
top.
he's already
Gazoom
like,
top.
Yeah. So it is a fungus. It grows on rice. I think it was found over there on rice, I believe. It looks basically it grows on the rice. We steam it and we allow the Koji to pretty much penetrate the entire rice kernel. We hydrolyze.
is that considered like a starter? Like you put it like in a bit?
Yeah, sort
and
of.
kind of let it spread or something?
Yeah. So we'll like first process, we'll steam the rice, soak the rice, we'll hydrolyze all the starches, then we'll inoculate it with little Koji spores we get from Japan. It looks like the finest black pepper. And you inoculate that, and then you do we bundle it all up.
I think that's how my
spread it
college
out.
apartment looked, like in the
Yeah,
roof.
a lot of black mold. Yeah.
The finest
Well,
black
it
pepper
was probably
mold.
Koji, I'm sure. Yeah. We actually,
They're like, you were like, I need to move out of here. They're like, no, that's umami. That's
I actually
umami,
called
baby.
the superintendent, like, hey, I think there's something wrong with my shower. He's like, oh, yeah, we'll take care of it. They came over and did the spray paint, like the can of white paint.
Shut up.
And just sprayed. I'm like,
right over?
I'm pretty
That's
sure
not-
it didn't help.
That's not how that works, but oh my god.
And so
But
your
it worked in college.
Your paint
so,
starts fermenting. You're like, that smells like Shochu. Is that sake? Y'all brewing
I think
over
we
here?
brewed that in college. I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, it kind of looks like a little puffy, cheese puffy kind of looking texture that gives the rice. And then at that point, those are just little enzyme factories. And then we'll use those to, we'll put it in each different step of the process, the 3 different feedings for sake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to talk about that. So, but Shochu itself, this is funny. Shochu it translates into burning liquor, which in the research we've done throughout the years, I guess the 2 years that we've been doing this
2.5,
seriously,
3,
about like different liquors. It seems like every single like ancient liquor translates into burning liquor. I swear to God,
burning
You're
something.
right. You're
They're
right.
all
No,
the fucking
yeah.
same. Like I think Baiju's the same and Shochu's the same.
Yeah.
Soju
Soju.
might be the same. I don't know. It's all like burning liquor. But it is. It's fucking.
So what you're saying that Japanese could not hold their liquor. They didn't know like a barrel strength. They didn't like barrel strength, right?
That's
Yeah.
You said it, not me.
I did say it, yes.
All
It's-
Japanese people that are gonna write in, it was Jason.
Come
It
at me, bro. Come at me, bro. You want to drink one for one with me? I got you.
Shochu has actually been around for a long time. The first mention was around the 16th century. In 1559, there was the Shochu graffiti mystery, which I thought this was kind of funny. I don't know. Do you have any notes on Shochu? Did you hear about this?
I have negative. I was just looking. Yeah.
In 1559, a temple carpenter in Kagoshima, Japan, carved a message into a beam. And it said, the priest is so stingy he never gave us shochu even once. So he's bitching that he can't get drunk at work, at the church. I mean, I guess if they're giving us like booze at church, I might go to church more often. I don't know.
Yeah.
But since 2003, it's actually seen a pretty good resurgence. A lot of like younger people get into shochu. I want to get into some of the differences between the shochu and soju, but I feel like these are all going to kind of run together because they are very similar until you get into like
from what I saw looking at, so soju is in Korea, right? I mean, traditionally. And then what's this one? Shochu is more Japanese.
That is true. Yeah.
That's the biggest difference.
And the
that
process
I could see.
is similar, but like once it gets down to the nuance, it's same with like baijiu, which is Chinese. It's the process is similar, which apparently we need to do a baijiu episode. It's like it's steamed and then distilled, but fermented underground.
I don't even think I've heard that.
Yeah,
term
and like
before.
the ceramic kind of. I think.
They have
It's
like
almost
vessels
like
for it.
remember tequila one week, the mezcal we
Mezcal,
did, the
yes.
pechuga. You remember
Exactly.
that one?
Yeah, I
Sounds
think
very
it's
similar.
Probably
honestly.
similar. So
Yeah.
we need to look more into that. That sounds fun. But there are lots of ways to make shochu.
The biggest other thing I saw from soju to shochu is the lower proof.
Right.
So shochu is usually lower proof.
Exactly.
So
Soju.
Soju.
Is typically lower proof.
clearly that's what I meant.
Of course, yeah. Soju is like they'll kind of dilute it and they'll add some like sweeteners like fruited, which is what we experienced
That was
last
fantastic,
time. Fucking delicious
actually,
fruit
yeah,
juice. It was amazing. Yeah.
Underrated should be.
Which I took all those home and drank them within 3 days. And got real fucked up. Those were amazing. Yeah. But shochu is it is considered, I guess, a more pure beverage, and there are different levels of shochu, which we were just talking about. Me and you.
Yeah,
Brian.
I mean, you're looking at the koji is just basically the enzymes that will break down the starches, which they can get from various different things: sweet potatoes, rice. I think those are the two big ones. Barley is another shochu that they do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think this one that we have is 100% barley. We have is it Ichiko? I guess that's how that's pronounced.
Sure.
But this is shochu distilled from 100% barley, and this one is 43% alcohol, I believe.
It looks like
which
so
is
86.
high.
That's
for
high.
shochu.
That's higher than I've seen.
Most shochus around 20-25%.
Yeah.
It's typically unaged, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
it's-
kind of like filtered out.
Yeah, usually I think it has to only be distilled once.
Yes,
which is
you're exactly right. So that's considered honkaku or otsuri, which means authentic, which is distilled once.
Yeah.
And but then there is korui shochu, which is multiple distillations and is diluted. But that's more of kind of like shochu for the masses, like a cheaper product. And I guess that's kind of diluted and watered down, kind of like soju a little bit. But go ahead.
No, I'm saying when I looked it up though, it's like a lot of people refer to it as Japanese vodka. So it's like distilled, like triple distilled, whatever they do, but definitely clear. You're talking a lot, and I would like to try it if you wouldn't mind to crack it
we're
open.
not
It tastes so much better than vodka.
Okay, I'm not. So personally, I'm not a vodka fan. Like, the only time I consume vodka, well, 98% of the time I consume vodka would be with a Bloody Mary. Like I do not like. I got sick on vodka when I was younger in my drinking career.
Your drinking career.
It's career, but it was not my favorite. Gotcha.
So there are different types of koji that you can use. Brandon, maybe you can elaborate. I saw that there's like black and yellow and white.
Black is pretty typical for shochu. We use yellow mostly for sake. We have also made a few with white koji, which is, I feel like white koji is used down in Osaka, or like there's a. I need to figure out it's a variant
region.
of shochu that is made in that island way down there.
Okay.
I'll look up what the name
Well,
of it is.
honestly,
It starts with an A.
well, looking it up too, like it's the same category as wine. So I mean,
Yeah.
that leads into what Brandon was saying. It's the same, whatever. What is it? What's the type of wine that you would say like it's only from this region in France? Burgundy or something like that.
Burgundy
Like there's something. Yeah.
Let's
agree?
go with that. That sounds
Burgundy.
right.
It's like Alabama colors. I don't know. Smelling of this though, what's the proof on this one, Matt?
86. It's
I mean,
43
honestly, it
alcohol.
smells like vodka with a little more like flavor to it.
So I get some of the grain off of that.
It smells more like White Dog to me.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of White Dog off this.
100% agree with that.
Yeah, definitely some grain notes on
Yeah.
there. But it is coming across kind of neutral.
And
very
this is
neutral.
barley, 100%
100%
barley.
barley.
I think because it's only distilled once, you're going to get more of the grain character or the whatever the
I'm
ingredient
assuming
was.
you've had shochu in
yeah.
the past. This is my first time in it. So they had another bottle from this brand, Ichiko, and it was like a squat bottle, like that big. I couldn't tell if it was hazy or if the bottle was hazy. Do you know what I'm talking about? And it was standard. It looked like their standard offering. It was like 23% alcohol.
It's probably the bottle. I've never seen.
They're usually supposed to be clear, right?
Yeah, I've never seen a cloudy one. So
Well, yeah, when
far.
you're distilling that, I mean, you would think,
Yeah.
unless you're adding something to it. So taste wise, for me, it's a lot better than vodka. I'll say
yeah.
that.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's not even close.
Oh, this is.
Well, it has
I like
flavor.
this a lot. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has flavor. Like
lot
vodka
of
comes
flavor.
across as like nothing.
smooth?
Just burn.
Smooth, no burn to that, but tons of flavor. Like this
Yeah.
is. I could see you sipping this.
Oh, yeah.
How are you supposed to like drink this?
On
one?
the
Like,
rocks,
what's-
generally.
Rocks, okay.
Yeah, generally on the rocks, or you'll do like highballs with it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like seltzer with. Is that what the
Yeah,
highball
yeah,
is?
yeah.
We were actually in a bar, and forgive me if I don't remember the name. Might have been inebriated at the time. We were in Chicago with our friend Adam at Standard Meadery, and when he closed down Standard the night, we went out. He's like, let's take you all out, and we were drinking highballs from about 10 p.m. to about 3 a.m. So fantastic.
Oh, I
don't
love
know what the
highballs.
hell I was drinking, but it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Great time. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you.
Just a little shout out. No, this is actually fantastic. I like this a lot.
It's super smooth.
Oh yeah.
I do not expect it to have this much flavor for a. I guess this qualifies as a neutral spirit. Is that right?
I would say that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't.
I'm not like
So-
in the distilling game,
Well,
so I
me
can't
either.
really say.
Me either. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, I think.
So I mean, I think vodka is neutral. I mean, to
No,
me,
I 100%.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I guess the standard for neutral
Yeah.
spirit, right?
Well, yeah. For me, like vodka and what I generally refer to neutral spirits, they're like distilled so
Everclear.
much that all the beginnings of it, the whatever was brought the sugar to the game, is lost. It's all.
gone.
It's
Yeah.
basically just ethanol and then
right.
diluted back with water.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so that's where I just feel like this has all of like the barley. I taste all of it.
So there's like you said, there's rice, there's sweet potatoes, which is a
Yeah.
really big one. Apparently, there's a sweet potato shortage in Japan right now because where shochu has kind of reemerged. People are using sweet potatoes a lot to make shochu. You can use like, is it sorghum or I got
Yep, I saw some
Yeah, yeah.
on there.
yeah, buckwheat, brown sugar, shiso, which is considered what's called the beefsteak plant. I've not heard of that. I've seen the picture. Yeah, it's like leaves. It's like fucking really thick
Beefy leaves.
Yeah, it really is. I
out.
wouldn't want to eat
I'm
them
out.
by itself.
I'm
It
out.
sounds delicious. Though.
I don't know
I don't
about
know.
that.
No, I don't know about that one.
But then like rice also, like I would actually. So I went for the 100% barley one because I'm thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like a whiskey. And this is really good. But now I kind of
is.
want to try like a rice
Well,
one.
it's a very viscous mouthfeel, so it's thick.
Yeah.
It's also very flavorful. No burn. You said it was 86 proof, I think, at 43% alcohol or something like that. I mean, man, for me, that's
Oh, it's dangerous.
super flavor. Yeah, I can crush this. yeah.
But I think this would be.
I'm
a great
glad I didn't
mixer,
discover
too.
this in college
Yeah.
or before.
Yeah,
Not that I would drink before I was 21.
you probably would have died
So
by now.
real quickly, it's Okinawa is the island. My bad, I
Okay.
screwed
Okay.
that up. And it's called awamore, and they typically use
Awamore.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a spirit that is to that island. I don't know if you ever had Tepan, the food truck that.
Oh, yeah, I have. I have.
She's from there, and I keep telling her to bring me back some.
She local?
Yeah. She works at yeah.
She's been at like a lot of breweries.
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah.
The food is amazing. It's Japanese
Yeah.
street food.
It's good.
It's authentic as shit.
Really?
So good. Yeah. I keep telling her to bring me back some, but if I can get some, it's very specific to that island. They use white koji for that one, which is white koji is pretty interesting because it creates citric acid. And so generally, if you ever use powdered citric acid in like the culinary world, it actually is derived from koji.
No shit.
Yeah.
Crazy. So like that's the big thing about koji is that there's so many like flavor compounds that are like a byproduct of
yeah.
it, like amino acids and stuff like that. A lot of it. You hear the way I say that? Amino acids, man. Yeah, I've had a few beers, so.
You made me believe it.
But there
Like you're
is,
Bart Simpson, but you
there's
know.
another type of shochu called kasutori shochu, which is distilled from sake leaves. Which are like leftover, I guess, what you get the byproduct from making sake. You ever heard of that, Brandon?
Yeah. we're looking into it. It'd be very cool to make it.
It would be.
There's a lot of little smaller distilleries around Lexington that we were kind of talking to. So
yeah,
it's
man.
just a matter of time.
You know,
but it's going to happen. We'll
you
have
talking
some.
distilleries now too. Like they're probably going to have some more free time on their hands. I mean, bourbon boom has kind of been hurting. So I would say places probably looking to diversify.
Yeah.
Diversify your bonds, protect your neck.
Oh, for sure.
Wu-Tang, baby.
Protect your
Wu-Tang.
neck, yeah.
We had a distillery in Louisville contact us about providing them some koji for some experiments.
Very
Shit,
cool.
okay.
Very cool.
We'll see.
Do you guys, so I don't know if this is for audiences or whatever. But you
We can
buy
cut
your Koji mold, or you make it?
We do everything in the most traditional sense, like they do in Japan. So
No
we
shit.
literally get rice, we steam it, and then we take the Koji spores that we source from Japan.
Sure.
Yeah,
And then you cultivate that.
and we'll inoculate the rice, and then Justin literally spends 48 hours tending to it every 4 to 6 hours. He's going in there and he's
Wow.
massaging.
That's hilarious.
And,
That's
and
such a
moving.
Justin thing.
I mean, no, it's like it's.
I can totally see
it's such
Justin
a,
being
it's,
like-
it's crazy. It's such a Japanese thing, like how they
Yeah.
just every little piece of detail, and they're very specific, and it's. When you do it right, it's pretty awesome. Like
Yeah.
when you really are like, man, this Koji smells so good. It's like rich, sweet hazelnuts and a little bit of mushroom, and oh man, it's great.
It is very much about the process and the journey. That Japanese kind of
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
thing, you know, it's like fucking pruning bonsai trees and like raking like rock gardens and shit like that. Like, I'm going way out there, but that is a very Japanese thing, is to like really, not obsess isn't a good word, but just like be meticulous about the process, but enjoy the process, because there is a lot of joy that can be derived from just
yeah.
like,
I'm just thinking, going back in my mind here, like, who in the hell thought of this in what, 1800s? Is that when it came from?
Oh shit,
like,
man! Sake has been made.
this is around since the 16th
Okay, I
century.
mean,
yeah. I was
okay,
gonna say like
even more
at
like
least 1600s.
What are you doing in the 1600s? Think, you know what I want to make is something to get me drunk.
I know,
I get
seriously.
it, but
I mean,
like,
I feel like
how do
it's-
you get to that
I
point?
feel like it's like the same way that like beer, I don't know, like somebody just
Right.
left some rice sitting
Yeah.
out, got wet, things started fermenting, breaking it down. They were like, they took whatever slurry was left after that and threw it into some more water and rice, and
Very cool. I mean, it's awesome. I'm
It
glad
kind
they
of feels
did.
like an
but,
oxymoron there,
yeah.
because you're talking about like something that gets you drunk. It's like, let's party.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like somebody had been like, you know what? I'm going to take the time to figure out how this party beverage was made.
yeah.
Back in
100%.
Mesopotamia, when honey was fermenting and they accidentally created meat or beer, like,
I mean, yeah.
how do you stop partying
Yeah, oh,
to
I
be like,
agree.
you know what?
Yeah.
Let's hone in on this process.
Maybe you hit that sweet spot. You party so much, you just like drink yourself sober
Dude,
almost.
3 beers and I'm fucking unbeatable at darts. Seriously, 3 beers. So it's
in.
like, yeah, you give me like 3 Mesopotamian
That's like me
meats
in Mario
from
Kart.
like
Come on.
1100s, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could probably figure it out. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that reminds me of like back when I was like, I don't know, really getting into craft beer and nerding out. Just like Dogfish had started making those historic beers where they like
Oh, yeah.
literally would find an old vessel in like a Chinese burial tomb and have
Yes.
some professor like
Yep.
break
Oh,
it down
yeah.
and like, oh yeah, there's this, and
Try
this
to
in it.
reinvent it.
Yeah, and I was
love
like, that shit was so
That's
cool.
fun, man.
They weren't like the best beers, but they were the story was so much.
great story.
Yeah,
But it was great because of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you want the story, you want somebody trying to make something you would like. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So,
It's fun.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, this has got a crazy history. Well, a long history, not like
Yeah.
a crazy history. But I think it's good. What do you think, Jason? Like something like this?
I mean, I'm a bourbon guy. I'm a beer guy. Honestly, I'm not a vodka fan at all.
Yeah.
This is really good.
It
There's
really-
tons of flavor. Like I
Yeah.
don't even know if I can pick out all the flavors like going through it, but great
can-
mouthfeel. Doesn't drink 86 proof. Like it is.
No.
It's really good.
You talk about vodka, you talk about bourbon, and this, it really kind of bridges the gap. Like
Yeah.
it's like a little bit of the best of both.
Sure.
You know, kind of.
It's definitely the best of vodka.
yeah. And it's not like, I think this bottle was like $40, which is probably higher.
I was
for-
going to ask you. How much was it?
It's not bad. I mean, for what it is, I think it's great.
I mean, it came all the way from Japan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like $40 is not bad.
Yeah, I think. Do you think it's worth it?
I would at least keep one of these in my cabinet.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's to be a mixed drink at all. You know,
Actually, I think this
looking
would
back,
be great in a mixed. Like,
I don't
find
know.
like
maybe
a good,
maybe some
like,
weird cocktail.
Yeah, hell yeah. I think.
But I
this would
don't
be
want to.
awesome.
I don't want to like muddle up the flavors it already has. You know what I mean?
Sure, but
maybe you can find something to accent some of the flavors it brings out.
Exactly. We say that.
But-
We say that about like a decent bourbon too.
Sure.
You know, but it's like
Yeah.
even like a Turkey 101, which
Oh.
is fantastic on its own. Like it's got a lot of nuances that you can complement with other like ingredients to mix it together, like
For
an
sure.
old fashioned or something like that. I think this would be great. Honestly, I think this would be great in an old fashioned.
I don't know.
I think it would. I think you do like a Shochu old fashioned. I think this would be fucking.
I think we should
great.
try it.
I think we should right now.
You know how other people
Right
drink
now.
it? Other people drink this with hot water. Did you know that?
Yeah. Well,
That sounds disgusting.
It does.
there's
They
also people that
said-
drink their own urine.
They also said that these.
I don't know. Should
These
we
are
do
not the
that?
same people. Probably.
They could
Probably.
be. They might.
They also
be.
said they would mix it 4 to 1, so 4 parts hot water to 1 part.
Okay, well that's
I don't know
basically
about
What
like.
is the point of that? That sounds just like that.
So
Sounds
you would
disgusting.
take it down to like 15% alcohol.
and like I
Why
don't
would
know.
you drink if you don't get a buzz?
I just don't like hot alcohol in general. Like the ethanol, like is super in your nose and face,
Now,
and it just.
you're talking bourbon. I like the high proof stuff.
You know what?
But like hot.
I mean, 140 plus. Oh, not warm.
I'm talking about like temperature wise.
Oh, hell no.
Like-
Hell no.
Wait,
The only time I drink anything hot alcohol is if a hot toddy. Like my grandma would always tell me this, and it actually works. You're sick, got a little head cold or something. You get some bourbon, some honey, some water, like some sugar, whatever, just pour it in there.
Sure, yeah.
Like it's
Lemon?
great.
Yeah.
Definitely lemon for sure. It actually kind of opens you up. Like that's the way to go.
You know, it's funny you say that, but apparently shochu baths have become a thing in Japan now.
I can see that.
Where they actually just pour a bunch of shochu in
What's
the bath
what's it cost
water.
you? Like $3 to go?
I don't know, but apparently, like,
And then they sell the shochu afterwards.
yeah, well, I
Get a bunch of Japanese idols to take a bath in it.
like on TikTok, and you can see there's like the shochu bath challenge where they're like challenge you to drink the fucking bath water that you just bathed in because it's like laced with like 40% alcohol, whatever.
and
Jason would
just
do it.
Body
100%
fluids.
do it.
Fucking do it.
I would actually bottle my own.
I bet
This is
you
from
could
Jason.
get
DNA and-
do you think you could get drunk just sitting in it? I mean, your skin just
absorbing
Yeah.
via
Vaporize.
osmosis.
Yeah, just vape the vapes.
yeah.
The vapors.
The
man.
vapors.
The vapors, man.
Yeah.
You know.
You think it's worth it, Brayden? I like it.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
good.
100%.
I very much enjoy.
I know
shit.
you've had
Yeah,
this
yeah.
for a long time, so.
I'd like to try something like cheaper and then more expensive too to see like the difference.
Yeah.
But this is fantastic.
I, honestly, like we should do another one sometime and try the other varieties.
Yeah.
They vary significantly.
Yeah.
It's a very wide, you know.
We could do another like shoju style episode and have like 12 of them.
We could do a quick
and
shot,
then you get
quick
slammed
shot.
on accident. Oh, quick shots are coming. Yeah, we'll do those. For more Arsenic Culture, you can check us out on all the socials. We are at Arsenic Culture. Stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to do Koji whiskey. It's going to be badass. And we'll see you on the next one.